Hello and welcome to Plus Sports on Plus TV Africa. I am your host, Mikhail Tinubu. Welcome on the show. And sometimes we like to ask a question. We pose a question. What could be? What should be? And in this case, we are asking who will win the 2024 Ballon d'Or? My name is Mikhail Tinubu. Welcome on the show. And I am joined on the show by Seun Ajidagba. Seun, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Mikhail, and good evening to our wonderful viewers. But one thing I can say, Mikhail Tinubu will never win the Ballon d'Or for 2024, and Ajidagba will not win it.
Well, we certainly know the names that are expected to be in and around the discussion, especially based on their recent performances. Even though they are so young, some of them have achieved so much. The top two names on anyone's list, on anyone's lips, would be Erling Haaland and Kylian Mbappe, both of whom are mercurial talents, and they've proven themselves already to be worthy of being in the discussion for the Ballon d'Or. It used to be that at 21, no player would ever be considered for the Ballon d'Or. Now we have 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds being considered for the Ballon d'Or because of just how fast the game has moved from the old way of seeing things. Now, Lionel Messi's era is over. Cristiano Ronaldo's era is over. In Europe, that is, they will still play football for a couple more years. They might even go as far as playing in an international competition before they are finally done. Maybe even make it all the way to the next World Cup. But we'll see. That is just a testament to just how good they are, that their national teams always want them to be available. It is a testament to just how much longevity their careers have had, that we continue to talk about them. However, Europe is where the big action is. When we talk about players who will get considered for the Ballon d'Or, if you're not doing it in Europe, then you're not doing it anywhere as far as the Ballon d'Or is concerned. So now that the era of Ronaldo and Messi is over in Europe, we expect that the next Ballon d'Or that is happening this October, certainly Messi will be in line to win that. He might have a competition in Erling Haaland, but a lot of people sympathize with Lionel Messi, so there's a great expectations that he'll win it, especially since it would be the last one he would win, especially since it comes right after he has won the long coveted, long sought after World Cup. But now, if regardless of who wins that, I want us to look ahead, 2024 and onwards. There's Jude Bellingham now in Real Madrid, another future talent. Who knows who's going to step up into the frame of discussion in the next season? What do you think? Who is your money going to be on? Who does enough to be ranked the very best player by 2024 Ballon d'Or ceremony?
If I'm going to be honest, I know FIFA and Ballon d'Or are separated in the last 2 years. Before it used to be FIFA the best, or FIFA Ballon d'Or as they call it. But now Ballon d'Or belongs to a French journalist where the French people will vote. And of course, FIFA has their own voting party. Let me say this, and I'm saying it very clearly. I appreciate the fact that Lionel Andres Messi, La Pulga, was instrumental in the La Celeste winning the World Cup in Qatar. He was very instrumental, leading them as the captain, becoming the MVP of the tournament and the second highest goal scorer at the tournament behind the young star Kylian Mbappe. But what he did at Paris Saint-Germain is nothing to write home about. When I say this, I say it very clearly because he won the French Ligue 1. With the talent that they have, with the winning French Ligue 1 with him. But the big one was the Champions League, where they felt he should have led them to winning that Champions League. That did not happen. Kylian Mbappe is another superstar, highest goal scorer in the French Ligue 1, and has been doing that over time. One of the brightest prospects for the Blue, the French national team. Yes, he only won one title, and that's the French Ligue 1. That's not what they want from Kylian Mbappe. But if I'm going to put all my smart money on who should be the Ballon d'Or winner for 2024, it will go to the young man from Norway. Yes, you want to say that his impact at Manchester City cannot be compared to what happens at Norway. The question is, when was the last time that we saw players replicating what they do for their country, for their club? Usually that was the norm. Yeah, what you do for your country, you also do for your club. But he has scored about 53 goals in all competitions, and you're very instrumental, integral, pivotal, undeniable, one of the best strikers to come out of Europe this season with all guns blazing, leading your team to win a treble. I give it to Erling Haaland. He should be the Ballon d'Or winner for 2024. He was not a sports player at Man City. He was an integral player at Man City. That had so many records. So on that premise, I think Erling Haaland will be the winner for 2024 Ballon d'Or. No argument about that.
Well, Erling Haaland has broken so many goal-scoring records. It's unlikely that he will ever break any assists records. This is his first season in the Premier League that has just ended. We can expect that, given how well he is embedded into the Pep Guardiola model of play, the team around him, that he will only get better. But some would argue that this is a player that mostly only does one thing well. He scores, which is the primary assignment of a striker. But strikers in these days and age, they are expected to do much more than just score. They're expected to create play. They're expected to drop deeper and be a part of the chance creations. But he seems to be forcing the discussion to go back in time in regards to who's the best striker, focusing entirely on the ability to put the ball in the back of the net.
I don't understand what people want. Mikhail, I don't understand English. But let me tell you the little English I understand. The job of a goalkeeper is to keep the goal. And that's why that word came out from goalkeeper. Keeping the goal for ball getting inside the net. Any other thing from a goalkeeper is an addendum. All these words that they people say ball playing goalkeeper is the modern style of coaching. There is difference between a shot stopper and a ball playing goalkeeper. Your first job as a goalkeeper is to keep the goal and ensure that ball does not go in. The word defender was coined from you defending the ball, not any other thing. While for midfielder is the man who orchestrates and the link between the defender and the striker. So that's why they call them the midfielder. They are like the middlemen between the manufacturer and the consumer. They are the middle people. So they are supposed to supply the striker. And that word striker means to hit, to strike, and more importantly, to convert these chances. If they create chances for a striker and he fails to score, there is a problem for the team. It's all effort with futility. And that's why everything works intertwined. Because you are the presenter. I'm sure some amazing guys are in the production room projecting you and putting visuals when those visuals are supposed to come. You guys are joint demand because without them you can't function. Without you, they cannot do honor function. So if you are a striker, your job is to score. Any other thing that happens is an addendum. All these assists and all those things, they are all addendum. The primary job of a striker is to score. Has he scored those goals that has helped Man City to win games? Yes, yes, yes. So why do you want to debuy him of that? We always talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold. He can go forward, he can do this thing. His first assignment is to defend. So if you cannot defend very well, you are costing your team. Then if you can then now join the attack, it's an addendum, not your primary assignment. Your primary assignment is to defend. His primary assignment is to score goals. Yes, Man City were scoring goals before the arrival of the Milan, but he came and was instrumental to them winning the treble, a feat they have never achieved in their life. So what are we saying? Why do you now deny?
All right. Seun, when it comes to talent, some would argue that Kylian Mbappe has more of it. Overall, as an ability to score, to dribble, to be fast in movement, a great deal of pace. He's a great finisher of the ball. Plenty of skill for days. Many would have said before the emergence of before the emergence of Erling Haaland, that Kylian Mbappe was the natural successor of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. Now he has a competition in a player whose primary ability to score will always put him in the conversation. Now, Kylian Mbappe is French. He has been to the last two World Cups back to back. He has been a pivotal player during the course of the run to those two World Cup finals. He has also been pivotal in the finals themselves. And he is already a World Cup winner, an MVP at the finals, no less. With all of that in his category, in his column for reasons why he might win, reasons why he should win, especially the fact that he's French, he's one of their own. Might he have an advantage over Erling Haaland in some quarters of the voting bloc?
I agree with you. Because it's a French organized award. So they can decide to do whatever they like themselves. Don't forget the last one was won by Lionel Messi. I will not take anything away from Kylian Mbappe. If somebody equals the record of the legendary Englishman, your course, who scored an hat-trick in the final, the man has done incredibly well. And I'm talking about Kylian Mbappe. This man went to the World Cup and surpassed what he achieved some 4 years ago when he won it. If my memory serves me right, Mbappe scored 4 goals at the World Cup they won in 2018 in Russia. From fast track to Qatar 2022, the young man scored 8 goals, including an hat-trick in the final. And of course, you know how many goals he scored for Paris Saint-Germain, becoming the highest goal scorer, their best player, and also the highest goal scorer in the French League. A feat he has been achieving in the last 3 seasons. But the question is, all these eulogies they are pouring on Kylian Mbappe, what did he achieve? Because you have to see the end result. His goal is not winning them title. He only won them a title, and that's French League.
Well,
the goals of Erling Haaland, not only winning the highest goal scorer, both in the Champions League, in the Premier League, but also ensure that he still won titles, and he was very integral to that process. And that's my standpoint.
Every player, no matter how good, every team, no matter how good, the next season, teams tend to figure them out. They tend to find solutions to the threats that they pose. And at the beginning of the season, teams were not ready for the incredible pace of Erling Haaland. A lot of goals were scored by Erling Haaland, being able to just run off the shoulders of the last man, being able to bully them. Even when they had big men who had pace, Erling Haaland's strength oftentimes won out. Towards the end of the season, it became more of a slugfest at times, with teams defending deeper and requiring Manchester City to have to lob the ball into the air, allowing Erling Haaland to take flight and head the ball into the back of the net. They struggle to find solutions to all of the abilities that he possessed, especially as those abilities complemented the deficiencies and the strengths of an already overly talented Man City squad. With Kylian Mbappe still having a year left in Paris, regardless of whether you can believe that he wants to leave this summer, whether he does leave at all, if he stays in Paris, there's every chance that he couldn't possibly achieve the heights that Erling Haaland will likely achieve at Man City. However, Man City will face more tests next season when teams start to implement plans on how to stop him. Given that we are in the off season right now, managers and coaches surely will be working on plans and patterns of stopping a Man City that has been proved unstoppable with the addition of Erling Haaland. What do you make of the juxtaposition of the positions of these two players?
Up until now, he has done excellently well in the objectives of instituting that Manchester City. And I'm talking about Erling Haaland. Whether he will surpass the City at this season or he will not meet it, it's still a long way to go. The season will just start in August, and precisely August 6th, when the community shield will start. And don't forget, even when the community shield starts, and it does not hit the blue side, it does not mean you will have the same season. I know things will check out well for him this time around, that, hey, you can't just come and rubbish the Premier League like that. In your first season, you've broken so many records. The record of Alan Shearer, the record of Andy Cole, a lot of records, even that of legendary Sergio Aguero. They will plan for him. But I'm sure he also has a plan of doing better than he did this season. Whether he'll be able to achieve it, I don't know. And I'm sure in the heart of Kylian Mbappe, he'll be feeling gutted within himself that he allowed money to determine his future. Yes, I know the mother came into the party talking to him that stay back in Paris because his mind was made up last season, not this season, but 2 seasons ago, when the team got knocked out in the quarter-final of the Champions League by eventual winners Real Madrid. It was looking like Seun and delivered. He was going to establish Santiago Bernabeu, but he had to make a U-turn, and he stayed back at the Paris Saint-Germain, and he basically called him board member.
All right.
Because of the amount of money they paid him. But quickly, if he had gone to Real Madrid, which is a club that could have projected him there, and they are paying for the 14-time champions of the UEFA Champions League, he would have been in the conversation. But things fall apart. Now at PSG, Messi is gone into Miami. They say they don't want Neymar because it costs so many injuries and it's costing them so much money. So he has to start again from ground zero and see whether he's going to stay back and lead the team to glory.
Well, let's look at Jude Bellingham. He has just joined Real Madrid. He is now officially a Hala Madrid player. To be fair to him, as much talent as he has, and we haven't seen the peak performances that he is capable of just yet. I think for many people, the lack of visibility of or should I say, the lesser visibility of the Bundesliga hasn't allowed us to see just how good this lad is. But now we are about to see that. Real Madrid traditionally have a wealth of political capital to put behind any player they choose to push him towards the Ballon d'Or success. If he performs well, he will be very much within the conversation of the Ballon d'Or. However, when you have a team, a squad, a club with the history of Real Madrid, how does a player like Jude Bellingham stand out? Given that one, he's still so young, still has so much to learn, and the nature of Madrid is that they always attract the very best talent. How do you stand out, especially when you're a midfielder who isn't going to chip in as many goals as Kylian Mbappe, certainly not as many goals as Erling Haaland? Therefore, how does he even get considered as a top choice in any year for the Ballon d'Or?
We have to be very careful. He's a young star. I remember some years ago when Eden Hazard, who eventually became a savior at Real Madrid, was signed from Chelsea. He came with a lot of hype based on what he has achieved in the Premier League and what he did for Chelsea Football Club. But things did not work out as he planned. Now they signed Jude Bellingham from Borussia Dortmund, 18-year-old, just getting into a bigger limelight. Borussia Dortmund can try to bundle the league. That cannot be acceptable for a Real Madrid who has a philosophy of all I want to do is winning. And you can imagine how much they spent on these young stars. When they are paying about 103 million euros on the league, it's about 88.5 million pounds, almost the same amount that they signed another from Chelsea. Back then, you need to come up with the good. And the good thing is that we'll be learning from some experienced players, the likes of Pellicruz, who's got a 1-year extension, the likes of Luka Modric, who simply his body can still carry him. And the other young stars like Federico Valverde, Lorenzo Tchouameni, Edouard Camavinga. So you need to start keeping the good eye. You need to start getting the goals, getting the assists. Because the Real Madrid fans will not stay in. Once you are not doing well, and they bring out that white handkerchief, then it means your confidence level is almost gone. So you have to be very, very careful and hopeful that you hit the ground running. Because you don't pay that kind of amount of money on a player and you say, let's do it time to test it. You're talking about 88.5 million pounds, 103 million euros. It's not a joke. You have to be quick and fast. You have to be immediately plug and play. Not let's give him one more season to test it. Let's give him 2 more seasons to test it. Because if you were to be a player of 10 million pounds or 15 million pounds, you say, okay, let's see, maybe the next season will come good. But the amount that he copped out for that young star meant that they saw a talent and they see that that talent will blossom in the Spanish Liga.
Well, Jude Bellingham as a midfielder reminds me of the recent years of midfielders and certainly not defenders being incapable of winning the award. Since the era of Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, it crystallized that what we love to see, especially when it comes to these individual best player awards, is the ability to score goals. Goals determine who we consider to be the flashiest, the most entertaining, the very best player in the world. And it takes me back because as a midfielder, he will, in the next Classical, be likely competing against Barcelona's midfield of Gavi, Pedri, and now it seems Ilkay Gundogan, who seems to have agreed a deal to join Barcelona. And there's still the likes of Frankie de Jong. This player is in the bracket of young prodigy talent, along with Gavi and Pedri. And yet, if you harken back to a few years ago, at the height of Lionel Messi's power, the season that all three positions, number 1, number 2, and number 3 for the Ballon d'Or award were awarded to only Barcelona players, it still was Messi ahead of Iniesta and Xavi. So no matter how good this player does play. As a midfielder, he won't be in the position to score the most goals in the squad, and certainly not likely to be in the position to win the Pichichi Award in Spain, and maybe not definitely win the best goal scorer in all of Europe, and maybe not even in Champions League football. So when you're competing against an Erling Haaland who's likely going to finish with 11 to 15 goals in the Champions League, you're competing with Kylian Mbappe, whom, if he stays in Paris for one more season, will have plenty of goal scoring opportunities because the teams are geared towards providing all the opportunities for them to score the goals. Jude Bellingham, in this instance, will be the one doing most of the creating of goal scoring chances for the striker in Madrid. How does he even finish third in such a run-in for the Ballon d'Or? Because I do not see a midfielder changing, no matter how talented he is, changing the status quo of voters choosing goal scorers.
Well, let me just say here that I worry for Bellingham. I give my worry. I always said that football is like economics, and a particular topic, demand and supply. Strikers usually demand, midfielders to supply. When midfield supply for the striker who are demanding, and they don't convert those chances, it makes a striker not potent, and it makes a midfielder frustrated. The question now is, Karim Benzema, who is like the recognized striker that Real Madrid have, is currently in Saudi Arabia or Al Ittihad. Who is that striker that Real Madrid can look up to say, this one can guarantee us goals? Yes, they've gotten Otelu from Espanyol, more like on the loan deal. But Otelu will not guarantee you the goals that Karim Benzema guaranteed you. And I want to liken that situation to what happened to Bayern Munich this season. Yes, they won the league on the last day, courtesy of Borussia Dortmund bungling. But I have to say that the goals that Robert Lewandowski offered them when he was at the Bavarians, not Eric Choupo-Moting, not even Kingsley Coman, not Sadio Mane or Sané will offer half of what Lewandowski offered them. And that was a factor for them always winning the league. This one they really struggled, and I'm sure they are looking into that striking department. For if Real Madrid, and according to what the president Florentino Perez said, if they don't want to believe that they are done with the transfer market, then they are in serious trouble. Because the question is, who do you now press the goals upon? Is Seun or Ibrahim Diaz that you brought back from AC Milan? Or is it Rodrigo or Vinicius Junior? Where do you want the goals to come from? So you need an out-and-out striker so that the job of the striker and the midfielder can be complementary.
All right.